Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. We're here for you today for your viewers choice video request, which was some shrimp and grits. But we're not just going to make any shrimp and grits. We're going to make a New Orleans style shrimp and grits with some sausage, some bacon. We're going to put some green peppers and ultimately some velvety smooth creamy grits, y'all. Y'all see where we going with this. Just make sure you keep watching so you can learn step by step. Now today we're going to use some old-fashioned grits, and this is the most important part of the dish because you want to make sure these things come out nice and creamy. And I don't believe in no 5-minute grits, so we ain't doing that over here. We don't want our grits to be too gritty, so we're going to cook these things low and slow. And for our family, we're going to use about 6 servings because you know we got to feed everybody. And then we're going to use milk instead of water because the milk is what's going to make it creamy. So go ahead and measure out your grits. Hopefully you got a measuring cup and won't be eyeballing it. But hey, it's your kitchen, right? We're going to go ahead and add those grits to the pan. And Daddy is always messing with me because any chance I get, I'm going to add a little bit of milk to it. So we got a little saying, add a little milk to it because it's going to make it more creamier and more better. But if you want to use water, go ahead and use some water. And some people use chicken stock too. But if you want that creamy, velvety, smooth grit texture, use the milk, y'all. So if you've never made grits before, you have to think about it like you're cooking some rice, okay? You need to add your salt in the beginning. Yes, you do need to add a little bit of salt because grits have no flavor. So you got to put some flavor up in there. And you can't really go back and do it at the end, because it's not going to taste the same. So put your pot on a medium-high heat, and y'all going to have to babysit this pot for a little bit. Do not walk away from this pot because you do not want any lumpy grits. If you stop stirring for a second and come back, oh, your grits is done, okay? Just throw the whole pot away. There's no return from it. It's over. All right, so this is looking good right about now. Just go ahead and put the top on it and let it sit for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to come back and stir it again. So let's go ahead and talk about our shrimpity shrimp, the second most important part of this dish. This is a 2-pound bag, and these are about medium-sized shrimps. Now, the cool thing about this bag of shrimp, it does have a resealable feature, but we're not even going to make it that far because we're going to use this whole bag. Step back over to your pot of grits and give it a good old stir. Don't forget about that pot now. They are starting to get thick, but they are nowhere near done yet. And I'm going to add some more milk because I don't want these grits to get too thick before they finish cooking. So we got 2 bowls of shrimp. Yep, we fancy. So we're going to use this big bowl for our gravy. And then we're going to use this shrimp for our garnishment because you need to make your dish pop at the end with your seared shrimp on top. I hope y'all enjoying this video so far because you have not seen nothing yet. We're not about to throw these shrimp shells away. We're going to make our own shrimp stock that's going to go in our shrimp gravy. And if no one ever told you about this, let us be the first to show you. So to get started, go ahead and put your shrimp shells in your pot. And we're going to go ahead and use some of these onions and peppers that I cut up already and make this more flavorful. Yeah, we cooking today for real. And then to this, we're going to go ahead and add our water to make our shrimp stock. You don't need a lot, just enough to cover it. Now, a lot of the flavor is going to come from them shrimp stocks, but you still want to add a little extra touch to it. So we're going to add some Creole seasoning. And that's it. Easy as that. So go ahead and bring your pot up to a boil and let that shrimp flavor come out them shells. And it should be looking something like this, nice and delicious. And just go ahead and put your pot on low to simmer while we go ahead and make the gravy to get ready for this stock. This is the part right here where we're going to add that New Orleans flair to these shrimp and grits. And we're going to make this gravy with some chorizo sausage. We're going to garnish it with some bacon crumbles. And we're going to add some more of these green peppers and onions to our sauce. Now let's chop it up, y'all, okay? Can we do that? We're going to work smarter and not harder in this kitchen. Yes. So we're going to go ahead and start on the bacon. And I'm going to cut this bacon in half the long way and then cut it into little strips because we're going to go ahead and render the fat from this bacon that we're going to use for the top of our grits. And we just gonna go ahead and put these pieces of bacon into our bowl until we're ready for them. This pair of scissors is essential to have in your kitchen. If you don't have any, you better go get some. What you waiting on? So I got all my bacon cut up. We got that sitting in the bowl right in the back. And we're going to do the same thing with our sausage because it's easier to go ahead and cut it up now instead of waiting to the end. And then you got to worry about burning your fingers. But if you like daddy and claim you got them leather hands where if you touch something hot, it don't faze you, then go ahead and do your thing. So your sausage should look something like this. And I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of them cut up. So let's go ahead and check on our broth. I just tasted it and I added a touch bit more water. And I'm going to add just a tad little bit of salt just to bring that flavor out a little bit more. It's time to cook the bacon. We're going to put that bacon up in this pan and sear it off nice and good. And you need the bacon because the bacon is what's going to set this shrimp and grits off. So this bacon is looking good and you know who hand that is. That's daddy's. Let me hurry up and get this bacon up out this pan before he try to eat it all. We're going to go ahead and put this bacon to the side. It don't look like a lot once you cook it down. And I don't know about you guys, but I do save my bacon grease. Yes, I do. So after you drain your grease off, just go ahead and drop your sausage in that same pot. Do not wash nothing out. We're about to start building these flavors right on up. And this chorizo sausage is the perfect sausage because it got a little kick, but it's not too spicy if you don't really like spicy food. You know them grits is almost ready when you add that butter. They coming together, y'all. It's coming together. Go ahead and put the top back on them grits because we still not done with them yet. And let's get back to this sausage. We're gonna go ahead and brown this sausage up. It smells so good. Gonna go ahead and add some of this marble sharp in these grits today because daddy don't like no cheesy grits, but he gonna eat them today.
Yeah, I do prefer a sweeter grits. So, you know, I put sugar in my grits.
This
sugar
cream
and butter.
of wheat.
It's not cream of wheat.
Comment down below if that's cream of wheat.
No.
Yes.
It's not cream of wheat. It's sweet grits, and I do a sugar and butter. So today, since it's a savory dish, I'm not going to do sugar in my grits. I'll just do the cheesy grits, like Mom said.
Let him tell it. Look,
it's okay.
Swelling for the camera, y'all, and then he ain't here eating up all this bacon. I told y'all I done kicked him out the pot in the last video.
I am in here stealing pieces of Mom's crunchy bacon.
You know.
Man, I can't wait till y'all make this dish. It looks and smells so delicious in here. Make sure y'all stay tuned to the end so y'all can see what the dish looks like.
So we're going to go ahead and add our cheese to the grits to go ahead and make it a little bit more creamier and go ahead and give it a stir. And we're going to put the top back on it and let that cheese melt right on through. This sausage is done. Do you see those bits on the bottom of the pan? You know that's one of the secret ingredients to cooking is them bits because that's where all of the flavor is. Let's go ahead and build our gravy up right into this same pan with our green peppers and our onions. And this was 2 green bell peppers and 1 large onion. And we're going to go ahead and scrape them flavors right off the pan, but don't scrape the pot too much, okay? So we're just going to go ahead and let these peppers cook for a little bit. And in the meantime, let's go ahead and get back to our stock because we almost ready for this. I got my measuring cup in my strainer right here, and we're just going to dump all of the liquid into the measuring cup without all the shells and peppers and throw everything else away. It done did its job. And here you go, your homemade shrimp stock. You don't say we haven't taught you nothing on this channel and you didn't waste no parts of your shrimp. You used it all and it looks so delicious. Our peppers and onions is done just the way we like it, and we're going to go ahead and throw that sausage back up in there because it's time to get this party really started. If you guys only knew what goes on behind the scenes when we make these videos, I had to stop what I'm doing and go back to the store to get some flour because we need it. That was a rookie mistake for real because you know we supposed to make sure we got all of our ingredients before we start cooking. I had to add a little bit more bacon grease to make sure that flour mixed up good. And just let this cook for a little bit. Make sure all that flour is cooked out. And then we ready to go ahead and add our shrimp stock. Go ahead and add about half of your shrimp stock to start out with. And just go ahead and give it a good old stir and make sure you mix it up good. You know what? Forget it. Let's just go ahead and use the rest of this because there's not that much left. And I'm going to be mad if I don't. So go ahead and bring your gravy up to a boil and taste it. And we about to go ahead and season it up. So you can see the route we going with this Creole flavor. We're going to add some more of that in there. We're going to add some garlic powder. It's looking good already. Had to add that extra one right there at the end. And then we got some Old Bay because after all it's shrimp, you want to have that seafood taste. And then to bring it all together, blackening seasoning, this is going to bring out the flavor even more. So go ahead and give this a good old stir, and we're going to let this go ahead and hang out a little bit so we can move on to the garnishment shrimp. Yes, go ahead and put your top on it. We're going to put this in the oven because I don't want to put the shrimp in the gravy yet because we haven't fried the shrimp for the top yet, and I don't want the shrimp in the gravy to get too rubbery before we even have a chance to, put it all together. Now we got to season the garnishment. You got to season everything, you guys. So we're going to come in one time with the same seasoning that we just put in our gravy. This time I'm going to add a little bit of lemon pepper just to brighten it up a little bit. And just go ahead and let these chill out for a second to the side while we go ahead and get our pan ready. You know I have to use my infamous garlic butter. It's going to give it a little extra flavor to it too. Now go ahead and get your pan nice and hot. You see that pan smoking right there? Yeah, that shrimp is ready to go on, because you want your shrimp to get a nice sear on them. And I don't know who doesn't like a good seared shrimp, especially in this garlic butter. Y'all better ask somebody. So just let your shrimp sit for about 2 to 3 minutes, and you should have something that looks just like this, because remember, your pan is hot, so it's not going to take that long. But do you see the crust on that shrimp? Yes, that's what you want to see, you guys. Go ahead and check your gravy. Your gravy should be looking thick just like this. Once it coats the back of your spoon, you know it's ready. And then now we can go ahead and start adding in our shrimp. Don't forget none of them shrimps in the bowl. And then go ahead and give it a good old stir. Now you know this is not going to take that long because your gravy is already piping hot. And once them shrimps turn nice and pink, it's done. So guess what? It's ready, and it's time to go ahead and plate it up. And go ahead and comment on a 1 to 10 of how easy it was to make this dish. You know we try to make it as easy as possible for you in the kitchen, right? So let's go ahead and take these homemade shrimp and grits and make them look like you just bought them from the restaurant. So I got this black serving bowl dish, and then check out how creamy these grits look. Remember, they are creamy with some butter and some cheese up in there. Go ahead and give them one more stir, and go ahead and put them in your bowl. And then when you put them in your bowl, put the little wheel in the middle. You know how you make your mashed potatoes and gravy because you don't want your gravy to fall over the place. Yep, we're going to do the same thing with these shrimp and grits too, y'all. So check out this gravy. It is still bubbling hot. And we're going to go ahead and put it right in the middle of our grits. And you see how it just nests right there. And then the gravy is just going to overflow and really look like some shrimp and grits. And I like making it the New Orleans style way because it gives you some sauce to put on them grits so your grits won't be too dry. You know what I mean? So let's go ahead and plate this thing up and add our garnishment. So first we're going to go ahead and add our seared shrimp. And look at them things. It was so hard just not to eat them by itself. But let's go ahead and put a few on top. And you want to have a different texture on top, versus the ones in the gravy. And then we're going to go ahead and put our bacon, the leftover bacon that daddy didn't eat up, and the kids. They was out here trying it. But go ahead and put some of that bacon. And that bacon just adds so much flavor. If you're not really a bacon lover, it's okay. You don't have to use it. But trust me, it makes the dish stand out more. And then we're going to add some of these green onions. We love some green onions. And it just brightens up the dish so much. And not to mention, make it look cute. And there you go. Some homemade New Orleans style shrimp and grits. And this bowl is heavy too, but it's filled with some goodness. We about to go ahead and try this. Now, the only thing I didn't put in there for you was a spoon, so you can come through that screen and take a bite. You know you want to. But this was our second time making this dish, and we getting a little better at it, y'all. Go ahead and comment below if you try it. Let us know what you think. And then make sure you go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe, because you never know what's coming up next on this channel, y'all. See you later.